The boarding lounge of Halcyon Air's International Terminal glowed with soft golden light, bouncing off polished tile floors and minimalist wood-paneled walls. Passengers lounged in sleek leather chairs, sipping champagne or quietly tapping away at laptops, while attendants refreshed the buffet line with imported cheeses and artisan flatbreads. The calm hum of the espresso machine in the corner added a touch of warmth to the otherwise sterile luxury. Standing just outside the frosted glass doors was a man dressed in a tailored midnight blue suit and Italian shoes that clicked softly against the marble. He stood still, unreadable. No fidgeting, no pacing. Just watching. Jordan Maddox had handed over his first-class boarding pass and elite lounge access without saying a word. He didn't need to. The platinum status and embossed lettering on his ticket said everything. But the gate agent, a lanky man with sharp features and a name tag that read Ethan, barely glanced at it before pushing it back across the counter. "We're at capacity," Ethan had said curtly, eyes trained on something behind Jordan as if he were trying to look past him altogether. Jordan didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice or flash credentials. He simply took the pass back, stepped aside, and leaned against a nearby pillar. His phone vibrated once in his coat pocket, and he glanced at it briefly before slipping it back without responding. Inside the lounge, several seats remained empty. That much was obvious through the transparent panels. Yet, moments after Ethan had turned Jordan away, a young white man in a stretched-out hoodie strolled up to the counter. Ethan's entire demeanor shifted. His smile widened. "Mr. Langley, right this way, sir," he said, already pulling open the door without scanning the ticket. "Elite upgrade, hope you're enjoying it." Jordan watched silently as one, then two, then three more passengers entered the lounge. All white, all underdressed, all greeted like old friends. A chuckle escaped Ethan's lips as he muttered to a coworker, "Can't just let anyone in. Gotta keep the vibe, right?" Jordan didn't react. He pulled out his phone, typed a short message. "Same issue. Proceed as planned." Then he locked the screen. What Ethan didn't know, what no one around him knew, was that Jordan Maddox wasn't just another high-level traveler in a luxury suit. He wasn't a consultant or a hedge fund manager. He was the founder and executive chairman of Maddox Global Ventures, a conglomerate with silent stakes in aerospace logistics, hospitality tech, and ironically Halcyon Air's parent company. 10 minutes later, 3 men across the terminal began moving. At Gate 11, Trey Johnston folded the corner of his newspaper. A former field analyst turned strategist, Trey had spent years managing high-pressure conflicts for intelligence agencies before transitioning to the corporate sector. He moved with a deliberate calm, one that made him almost invisible in a crowd. His polished demeanor and average build blended in seamlessly as he crossed the gate concourse. On the second floor, inside the concourse cafe, Eli Carr adjusted his wire-rimmed glasses, placed his half-read legal memo down, and took a final sip from his espresso. He was a litigator known for dismantling contracts and reputations with equal ease. With quiet precision, he exited through a side corridor and made his way to the admin elevators. Meanwhile, standing near a security post outside baggage screening was Nate Sharptall, broad-shouldered, a former defense operative with a record for tracking internal corruption within security firms. He flipped a lanyard around his neck. Ethan was still oblivious. He leaned toward a colleague, whispering with the smug confidence of someone who believed himself untouchable. "You see the guy earlier? Looked like he borrowed the damn suit. Probably snuck in on points." Toby, the junior agent beside him, chuckled half-heartedly. He wasn't as confident as Ethan, but he didn't push back. He never did. Jordan remained motionless, his eyes flicking toward the departure board. Flight 880 to Zurich. Boarding in 20 minutes. He checked his phone again. Trey en route. Eli in position. Nate approaching. Good. Everything was unfolding exactly as it should. Nate didn't head to the desk. He stood nearby, scanning the area without drawing attention. Exit points, camera positions, employee rotations. No clipboard. No clipboard needed. Upstairs, Eli bypassed the reception desk outside the executive suite by presenting a compliance envelope marked urgent. The receptionist looked uncertain but didn't stop him. Downstairs, Trey entered through a back service corridor and took a side position near the lounge entrance. And at that exact moment, Ethan received an envelope. It arrived not through email, not through internal comms, but via hand delivery. A young woman in halcyon uniform walked up, handed it silently to him, and disappeared without another word. The envelope bore his full name in block letters. Ethan McConnell. Urgent. He opened it casually, still grinning from a private joke. But his grin faded quickly. Inside was a compliance summons marked immediate action. Conduct review initiated. Suspended pending investigation. His eyes darted across the room. Something felt wrong. He looked at Toby. Did you see where that girl went? Toby just stared. At that moment, a different supervisor approached the desk. A tall, clean-cut man in a charcoal suit with operations lead Damon Ross embroidered on his name tag. Mr. Maddox, Damon said, turning to Jordan with a slight bow. Apologies for the earlier oversight. Please, let me personally escort you to your seat in the lounge. Jordan nodded once. No smugness, no satisfaction, just quiet acceptance. The lounge, once filled with easy conversation and clinking glasses, fell silent as the doors opened and Jordan stepped inside. Every head turned. A few gasped. A server holding a tray froze mid-step. Damon held the door and addressed Ethan without turning. As of 5 minutes ago, your access is revoked. Please report to Mezzanine 2 for compliance review. Ethan's mouth opened, but no sound came. Then 2 men in navy blazers with silver Halcyon Compliance Division badges appeared beside him. Mr. McConnell, this way. No shouting. No argument. Just procedure. Inside the lounge, Jordan accepted a glass of water from an attendant and settled into a leather armchair. He didn't glance back. He didn't need to. His silence said more than a press release ever could. The entire room knew. They had just witnessed the quiet removal of a man who had mistaken power for protection. And it wasn't over. Inside Halcyon's headquarters the following day, an emergency boardroom meeting was underway. Legal documents were scattered across the table. Executive bonuses were frozen. Compliance orders had been pushed through. 5 resignations were already in progress. None of them had spoken to Jordan. None needed to. The directive hadn't come through public channels. It had come from a private equity trust Maddox, holding silent majority stakeholder. By the next morning, the headlines had erupted. Airline execs resign amid first-class bias scandal. Mystery power player restructures industry overnight. Jordan didn't issue statements. He didn't tweet. He flew. And from seat 1A, on another quiet evening flight this time, to Copenhagen, glanced out at the city lights below, a calm resolve in his chest. He hadn't punished a man. He had dismantled a culture. And now, with silence as his weapon, he was just getting started.